I'd like to welcome you to our Global Voices interview series from the World Bank headquarters in Washington. We're live streaming from the middle of our spring meetings. Thousands of development professionals and global leaders have come together here this week to share knowledge and ideas to solve some of the world's most challenging problems, such as human development, resilience, poverty, and fragility. I'm Priya Basu, head of the Women Entrepreneurs Finance Initiative, the WeFi, housed at the World Bank. I'm here with Ulla Tørnæs, Denmark's Minister for Development Cooperation and a WeFi leadership champion, who is advancing for women's economic empowerment and advocating for it globally. Also here today is May Babiker, Manager, Women and Youth Empowerment at the Islamic Development Bank. May is leading the rollout of WeFi-funded programs in Yemen, Mali, and northern Nigeria. Let's hear from them. I'm also excited to welcome our online audience and encourage you to share any questions you may have in the comments section of this video. So let me turn first to Minister Tørnæs. Hello and welcome. At the World Bank Group, we are supporting women's entrepreneurship, and we see it as critical to boosting jobs, economic growth, prosperity, and peace. And WeFi is a key tool to achieving this. So what do you see as the role of entrepreneurship in stimulating women's economic empowerment?
Let me first say that economic empowerment of women is absolutely key for Denmark, and it's key in our development policy. And supporting entrepreneurs or young business women in economic empowering them is very important, and I think it's a very important tool to alleviate poverty, and this is what can I say, main purpose of Danish official development assistance is to contribute to achieve the sustainable development goals and of course alleviate poverty. So the WeFi of the World Bank is, as we see it, a very important instrument in supporting female entrepreneurs because they might not have opportunities of just going to the bank and get access to loans. So I very much hope that the WeFi can fill in this gap for the women that have businesses that they would like to increase, but where they cannot find financing for doing this.
Thank you, Minister. Turning to you, May. So last year, the Islamic Development Bank received 32 million from WeFi for a very ambitious program in Yemen, Mali, and northern Nigeria. So can I ask you a little bit about what you expect this program to do in terms of stimulating women's entrepreneurship?
Well, thank you very much. Yes, the Islamic Development Bank has a program that is called Brave Women. Brave stands for Business Resilience Assistance for Value-Added Enterprises, and it started in 2016 in Yemen, and it proved to be a success. So we applied last year with having it focusing only on women-owned and women-led enterprises, and we extended the model from only Yemen to other fragile and conflict-affected countries and regions, such as northern Nigeria and Mali. So the program aims at building resilience of women-owned and women-led enterprises, and it has three main components that complement each other, and it addresses the different barriers they are facing. So it has a component of building their capacity and skills so that they can access financial resources and improve on their business continuity plan in such fragile situations. And it has another component of matching funds where they are putting resources as women-owned and women-led enterprises, and commercial banks are putting also resources on that. And then this will enable them to expand and grow their businesses. And then the third component is more of an IT platform where these interactions between the women-owned enterprises are reflected so that it is a transparent process, because you are working in a fragile situation and you want to make sure that whatever resources you are putting there is actually utilized the right way. So that is the model that we built previously, and we are continuing now in Yemen. What is interesting about it is that it's it's taking an approach which is the Islamic Development Bank approach of South-South cooperation, where we are transferring the experience and knowledge from one country to another. So it is more of a phased approach. We're starting by Yemen, then transferring the knowledge from Yemen to Nigeria, and then from Nigeria to Mali.
Thank you. So let me ask you, Ms. Tørnæs, what do you see as the most pressing challenge facing women's entrepreneurship and economic empowerment today?
What I hear again and again is access to finance. So access to finance is, of course, very important for female entrepreneurs. It is in the developing world as well as in the developed world. But in the developed world, most often women find their ways, but in developing countries, I understand that access to finance is a huge challenge for female entrepreneurs. And then also, when you have started your business, it's of course also very important that your business can continue. And therefore coaching and supporting, as you were mentioning, is part of your program, is of course also absolutely key. When you have a business plan and you have set up your business, you have to make sure that this business is not just dying away just right after it has been established. So mentoring or coaching is also very, very important for entrepreneurs in countries like Yemen, Mali and Nigeria, as well as in other parts of the world.
And the same question for you, in your programs, as you're implementing them, what are the kinds of most pressing challenges that you're seeing in addition to access to finance and mentoring?
Definitely the access to finance is a big challenge, as she said, rightly said, everywhere. But women entrepreneurs, they face challenges related to financial and non-financial barriers. So the non-financial, you find issues like access to market. So okay, you have your products, but then how you market this product. Then you have also issues of access to networking and information. And this is also a challenge in the developing world, maybe more than the developed world. Then there are issues related to cultural aspects and cultural barriers. So you have countries where women are responsible for child care. So this unpaid care that they are responsible for is some of the barriers where they want to free more time to do other productive activities. In fragile contexts, you find issues of security and safety which affect their mobility, and it leads to other impacts when it comes to other barriers. So it affects also their access to market, their access to financial resources and so on. So it's a full package of barriers, but it's not impossible to solve.
I think you're raising a very important issue while mentioning childcare and also other kinds of family issues that most often are female jobs or tasks to make sure that cooking is made for the family, and caretaking of the children is also most often the task of the woman. So these are issues that are very important. But how are these issues being addressed in a country like Yemen, for example?
As part of our program, we have done some sort of community mobilization and outreach when we start because this time is focusing only on women. The previous one was both men and women, so it was like 25% that are women beneficiaries. But this time, because it's solely for women, then there is a whole package where it comes to community outreach, speaking to the community leaders, to the women, to men as partners in this, so that they make sure that this is a joint initiative and they are partners in the development of women entrepreneurs. So the issue of child care, the issue of safety and security was also brought to the attention of the community leaders, so that when it comes to the implementation, it becomes a smooth process.
I come from a country where we have equal rights and equal opportunities. So of course it's different in my home country, but I'm very happy that we can support female entrepreneurs in countries that are not where the situation is not exactly the same as in my
So I would say that one thing that makes WeFi really stand out from other funds is that we're taking this kind of a systemic approach to all the barriers, the ecosystem that includes not just financial barriers, but also a range of non-financial barriers, from access to markets to the legal regulatory policy framework, childcare, things that really create a supportive ecosystem.
But that is very, very important. Very important.
Yeah. If I may add also, we look at fragility as an opportunity. So we're not looking at it as a barrier, we're looking at it as an opportunity where we can reverse roles, we can do so many changes in the existing social norms that were more averse to women's empowerment. So it is more of an opportunity to make these changes, and I think we're trying to do it in a positive way. So we're not forcing things, but we're taking it as a positive opportunity for change.
So I wanted to ask both of you, do you think this challenge or this set of challenges are solvable?
Oh yes, absolutely. If again I look at my own country, I think we have in one way or the other solved the issue of making, or we have solved the barriers so that women have access to the labor market. We have nearly equal access, men and women, to the Danish labor market. So these things can be solved. I know that there are huge challenges in developing countries, and that's why we are so happy to support the WeFi, because it gives opportunities to female entrepreneurs that they would not have if WeFi was not there to support them.
That's very encouraging.
Yeah, definitely they are solvable at different levels. So, and we have different actors. So, like the government would have a role when it comes to improving the enabling environment, regulatory frameworks to encourage women to be more entrepreneurs, having facilitated regulations for registering a business, like in developing countries, starting a business, registering it, and so on and so forth. So this is one element of it. But then there is also the role of the development actors, like the MDBs and others, where it comes to having programs that address both barriers, the financial and non-financial, having this complementary approach where you build skills, improve opportunities for women for accessing markets, for accessing networking and information, but at the same time providing also access to finance that is tailored to their needs. Because it's not only about access to finance and that's it, but you need also to make sure that there are products that are addressing the women's needs given their level of education, given their poverty, so issues of collateral, issues of how you can make this financial sector more inclusive and include more women. So it's the different actors and their different roles, but definitely the barriers are solvable.
We know from different analysis that we can actually increase the global GDP with up to 25% if just women are getting the possibilities of contributing, using their potential. And this is what WeFi is about for me, to make sure that female entrepreneurs can use their potential for the benefit of themselves and for the benefit of their families and communities and societies. So it makes very good sense for me, and that's also why it's a key priority in Danish development policy, to make sure that women get access or get possibilities of using their potential.
Yeah, absolutely, and we often say that these problems that we talk about, these challenges that we talk about, are literally man-made, so they can be solved, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you both so much, Ulla Tørnæs, May Babiker. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you.